All right, so tip number one is going to be understand cold calling. What do I mean by that? I want you to understand cold calling as just another way to get in touch with a prospect. You have email, text message, LinkedIn, then calling. Don't think of calling as the end all be all. Oh, cold calling is the best way to get in touch with prospects. It's not. The best way to get in touch with prospects is email. You can email 1,000 people within 2 minutes. Cold calling is very effective though because you can share emotion. You can exchange emotion over the phone. You need to build a relationship with a customer or a client for them to trust you. You can't do that as efficiently and effectively via email, text message, LinkedIn. You need to get on the phone in order to build a relationship, and that's how you should think of cold calling. It's not the end all be all. It's simply another form to get in touch with prospects. Sales is a numbers game. We want to get as many touches for a prospect as possible. We want to get in touch with them, LinkedIn, email, text message, and then a call. It's just another way to get in touch with them. Tip number two, get straight to the point. When you're calling prospects or you're calling clients, you don't want to waste time. That person is answering the phone and you better get straight to the point to see if they're interested or not right away. Don't waste their time and don't waste your time. Tip number two, get straight to the point of what you're selling, what service or product, and don't waste your time and don't waste their time. All right, tip number three is going to be the mirror effect. We want to mirror how our prospect or our client is talking to us. Are they being direct? Are they being talkative? We want to continue the conversation for as long as possible. And one good way to do that is the mirror effect. If they're being talkative, if they're being sociable, do the same. If they're being short and direct, be short and direct back to them. This is a great way to expand the conversation and enable you to be able to sell your product or service. Okay, tip number four, and this is a very important one. Ask open-ended questions. Too many times I will see new salespeople ask questions that are going to be a yes or no answer. And why is this bad? Well, if you ask yes and no questions, you're going to get yes and no answers. We want the prospect, the client, the customer to talk as much as possible. We want them to talk about 80% plus in a conversation. You should be doing very little talking. Now, why is that? Well, if you don't ask questions and you don't let them talk, you'll never find out what's important to them. What do they value? What don't they value? Are they going to be a customer right now? Could they be a customer in the future? Or are they not a customer at all? And if that's the case, can they refer anyone that might be a customer? We need to understand what is important to our customer, whether a client or a prospect. And the way you do this is by asking open-ended questions. Asking questions that are going to give you yes or no response are going to get you nowhere, not at all. No value to you or the person you're talking to. So tip number four, ask open-ended questions. So tip number five is build a common ground. What do I mean by this? Well, before you guys call a prospect or a client, what do you usually do? You probably look at their resume or you looked at your LinkedIn if you don't have their resume, right? So let's say I am calling a VP of a business and I'm trying to get a contract. And I go to his LinkedIn and I see that he went to Clemson. I am 100% going to talk about Clemson at some point in my sales call. Now, why do I do this? It kind of goes back to the open-ended questions. We get them talking, right? But with this, the common ground, it shows Greg that, hey, I'm interested in getting your business. However, I'm interested in getting to know Greg, not just everything about business has to be on this call. We're going through the conversation. I'm asking him open-ended questions. And then I might say, hey, Greg, I see you went to Clemson. How's the football season going? Boom, right there, I show Greg that, yeah, I'm interested in your business. However, I can relate to you on another level outside of business. He quickly opens up, starts talking football, and then we have a nice conversation, and he can see that he relates to me and I relate to him. I built a small relationship, a small win, a small victory for me that separates me from the pack rather than being a salesman just asking questions that he hears all the time. So build a common ground. Doesn't have to be sports, it can be anything. But look at their profile on LinkedIn, find something about them, look at their resume, whatever it is, build a common ground, and you will quickly build a relationship very, very fast, even in such a small manner as that. It's all about building trust, and how we do this can be so little as building common ground.